Hey guys, welcome to Spilling the Reality with Trisha and Kiley, where we have all of the latest Big Brother. I'm going to get better at this every time. Big Brother spoilers, everything going on in the live feeds. We are here to bring you everything that's happened between our show yesterday morning and 6 o'clock today. And we normally do our shows at 12 o'clock Central Time. So I feel like we haven't talked to you guys in forever, but it's only been a day. So glad to be back. 6 o'clock Central Time, right before the episode airs. We will be hitting on your comments as we go through the episode. So, looking forward to chatting with you guys as you're never afraid to give us your opinions, thoughts, and concerns as we walk through the live feed updates. So, as on our last episode, we told you guys that we would bring you the veto competition updates. So, Kylie, let's get into it.
All right, so yesterday morning they did wake the house guests up super early and started picking players for the veto comp, and you'll never guess who got picked for a veto.
Yeah, so we had the HOH Memphis and the two nominees, which are Kevin and Day. So first Memphis draws, and he draws Tyler.
Wow, what would a veto competition be without Tyler? I'm so shocked.
So sad that Tyler got picked for another veto comp.
Yeah.
Um, and then we don't know the order of these two, but let's just go with Kevin. So Kevin draws. Da-da-da!
Danny.
Well, he got house guest choice.
Oh.
And he I'm spoiling for Kylie. So he
No,
got
I
house
knew this. Actually, I really did. It's
Look
been a
at your
day.
nose, girl. No, I'm just
Been a
kidding.
day.
Anyways, so Kevin draws house guest choice and he chooses Danny. All right, that's cool. That's cool. But then we get to
I thought he
Davon.
chose Nicole.
Maybe he did. You're the one who said Danny.
Well, I
Anyways,
just said Danny's name because I was forgetting that Kevin got house guest choice. Anyways, I think he chose Nicole.
okay, so he chose Nicole. Whatever.
Not
Okay,
that
it
it
doesn't
matters.
matter. It doesn't matter. All right.
Except that he did not choose David, so they were kind of shocked by that. Because
Wait, pause. You're getting ahead of us. So then Day draws. Day draws. And we don't have a lot to talk about, so we got to give y'all suspense today. So Day draws, and she gets house guest choice. And who does she choose? Danny or Nicole? What the other one that Kevin didn't
I'm so
choose?
confused. There's two house guest choice.
Yes. They both
Okay.
got house guest choice, and they both chose Danny and Nicole. Like they prospectively chose the other.
Okay, well,
Okay. All right, so there's that. Okay, but this is interesting. This is so interesting because if we dig a little deeper here, this tells us so much. This tells us that Kevin and Davon literally trust David zero. Like they didn't even pick him for the veto competition.
right. They are still thinking that David is the one that flipped on Ian and voted him out of the house. And so they're not even going to give him the chance to play in the veto competition for them because they don't trust him. And that completely proves it. So Nicole Franzel, with her Emmy Award nominated acting skills, pulled it off, guys. And the distrust is real between Kevin and Day and David.
This is the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
I will never not play that clip.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this really tells us a lot, but it also tells the house guests a lot because they're like,
Yeah.
oh, they're in with him. Like
Yeah.
they're like good with him. They pick both of them. So
Yeah.
this does not look good for Danny and Nicole at all when it comes to the committee.
Right. Yeah. So there's definitely some doubts floating around about those two, Danny and Nicole, and what side alliances they have. And so, we're just seeing a lot of distrust amongst the committee. So,
Yeah. So That was super interesting. I think there probably hasn't been a more interesting veto selection ceremony
Yeah.
this season. So that was interesting. I'm interested. I can't wait to see the DRs from this. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Yesterday we talked about Memphis has this big plan. Every person that he talked to, he was like, I've got these two people that I'm going to put up, but I've got a plan and I don't want to tell anybody, but I just want everyone to do what I want to do and vote out the person that I say, but I'm not going to tell y'all who it is right now. Let's wait till after the veto. So once the players get selected, he immediately, seriously, within 5 minutes of the feeds being up, he talks to Tyler and is like, hey, my big plan, I'm going to backdoor David.
y'all, what was it? We talked about this on our show yesterday about how stupid this would be, and surely this wasn't going to
Surely
be the
not.
plan. Like,
Okay.
surely.
So let's talk about this. Is this really what his plan was? Or do you think he had another plan, but once he saw the veto draw, he was
He
like,
was like,
"Ooh, I better not go for that."
no, I think this was definitely his original plan. I think all of the conversation with David was fake
Yeah.
because, in my opinion, the veto draw would have solidified thoughts more of going with a Danny Nicole nom.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that maybe he wanted to backdoor Tyler, but then once he saw that Tyler got selected and he's like, okay, Kevin, Davon, Nicole, Danny, me, and Tyler. Like, there's a pretty good chance Tyler's going to win this. So let me throw another plan out there in case Tyler does win and I'm not able to backdoor him. So let me just throw out that, hey, this is what I really wanted to do. That's
Yeah,
what I'm kind of thinking, but it's Memphis, y'all, so who knows what he's doing.
yeah, and I would totally agree with that. The only thing, like, I don't know, it's hard for me to like even like get in Memphis's head and like
Yeah.
imagine what he's thinking because he's crazy. But I think that Memphis should have the like when the veto ceremony or the veto picks happened, and he saw that Danny and Nicole were chosen by Day and Kevin. Why get rid of David at this point? Like, why make that your target?
Yeah. It's
Like,
so weird. I don't
it
I don't
just doesn't
understand
make
him.
I feel like because of that picking ceremony, that made him less like he's literally in with no one is what this veto picking what is this called?
Yeah.
What is
The
this called?
veto,
Like
the veto, time to pick players for the veto competition meeting.
player picking. I don't know. I keep
The
saying this
player
and
pick meeting.
anyways, okay. So the veto picking. I think it was just I just think I African American says why wouldn't he want to backdoor David? David has said numerous times he would put up Memphis if he won HOH, but so what? Like he's the least target
The least
ever.
threatening person ever. Why even waste an HOH on it?
He hasn't even won a competition other than the getting the disruptor power. That's the only
Yeah.
thing he's won. He's not a competition threat. He is absolutely not a social threat.
Yeah, he has no pull in the house. No one, he can't strategize. So
Yeah.
why make it your backdoor plan? Like, okay, if you just don't personally like David, that's fine. But why would you have set up this whole elaborate plan if David is your backdoor plan? Because he's just not good. So why wouldn't you just say, hey, I want David out because I don't like him? And
Yeah.
he gives no reason for wanting to backdoor David. Just, hey guys, now that the players have been selected, here's my big plan. I'm so sneaky. And he tells them all, like, hey, since I want to backdoor David, y'all can all just throw the competition to me. So just throw it. And everybody's like, okay, I'll throw it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. So Tyler agrees he'll throw it. Danny and Nicole say that they'll throw it. He clues Davon and Kevin in that, hey, my big plan, I'm gonna backdoor David. So he tells everybody this before the veto comp. So
And
he's trying to sell it.
the thing is everyone's on board with it. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, that's
Okay.
sure,
Fine.
get rid of
Great.
him. I don't care.
Yeah.
Um,
Except for Cody. And Cody is like, why? Why are we gonna get rid of David? But we'll get to more of that in a minute. So
yeah. But let's acknowledge this comment really quick from Pink Haired Aiden that says David has secretly been throwing every comp to lower his threat level. I really
I
like your
mean,
confidence in him.
if David gets to the end and is like, I got y'all because I am so good at this and I have been tricking y'all, and he goes on like a comp run the last 2 or 3
Like he wins
weeks.
like all the final 3 comps.
Yeah, he gets there and like wins the last regular
Does the
HOH,
memory comp.
wins the last veto, wins part 1 and part 3 of the final HOH, and he owns it all, then I will gladly eat my words. Okay?
Yeah.
But that's
Also,
really hard. That's really hard for me to say because I really, really don't like to be wrong. So
yeah,
that's how
African
confident
American
I feel.
says he's not the least threatening. Cody and Tyler plan to use. I
Plan to
think this
use
is
him against the committee.
yeah.
But I mean, how are they going to use him? Because what can he do? He doesn't have any sway with anybody. He hasn't shown that he can win competitions. He's a really bad liar, hence him acting like he didn't use the disruptor power
When it was like the most obvious ever.
ever. So, yeah. Okay, well, let's move into the veto competition. And we get a drone shot of the backyard prior to the veto comp, and it is set up in this beautiful, elaborate maze. And we did see Tyler compete in a maze veto in his season, and I think he got second to Casey. So Tyler is the only one out of the 6 that has done a maze veto before. And I think they had to like run through and match up some animals, maybe. But we also find out that this veto competition brings us Zingbot. Zing!
Zing!
So everybody's excited to see Zingbot, of course, and they do talk about their zings. We'll get into those a little bit in a little while, also. But yeah. So what happens in the veto comp? Everybody going into it said they're going to throw it to Memphis. So did Memphis win the veto?
Spoiler alert, y'all. Memphis did not win the veto, but neither did either of the noms. So who won
Somebody
veto?
is lying. Oh, shocker. Tyler won. So, they were thinking last week, oh, hey, we should keep Tyler around because he can win competitions for us. And already 1 week later, Memphis is telling Christmas, like, oh, Tyler's really good. He wins a lot of competitions. Like, that's a threat. Well, obviously, that's why you should have gotten rid of him last week when he was on the block. But you didn't. So here you are. So if Memphis did have any idea of backdooring Tyler or Danny or Nicole, this has been foiled because Tyler is like, nope, I'm not going to use this veto. And that kind of shoots his plan to backdoor David too. So does Memphis really fight for David to get put on the block?
Um, honestly, y'all, it wouldn't surprise me if he still puts if David on the block. Just
But Tyler's got to use the veto. Is Tyler going to use the veto?
I mean, I think if Memphis strong armed him enough, he would.
Yeah, but I don't think Memphis is going to do that. And the person that has been pushing so hard for, hey, we cannot get rid of David is Cody. And once again, this just shows how Cody is the one running the committee alliance because Memphis wanted David out, and he has, within 12 hours of the veto comp being over, has conceded that, okay, David can stay. Let's get rid of one of the nominees. Because Cody wants David to stay.
Not because Cody wants David to stay necessarily. It's just because Memphis didn't win the veto. So for him to ask Tyler to say, hey, use the veto, and then let's put up David, it's not even like David's not even like a huge threat. Like we already
Well,
said, he's not a huge threat. It's
sure,
just not a
he's not.
weight. It would be just such a waste for him to ask Tyler. Like it'd be
Yeah,
hard for him to even
absolutely
explain.
would be a waste. But Cody is the one that has pushed not David this week. And not only did he push not David, but he's pushing who it looks like the target is. And we know that Danny and Nicole have been getting pretty close with Davon. Before the veto competition, we talked about how the guys were kind of wanting to target Day. The girls are kind of wanting to target Kevin. And as the day goes on, it definitely looks like Day is done. So
Yeah, I don't see a situation where Day's on the block next to Kevin and doesn't go home. Like
yes.
these house guests would be complete idiots not to get rid of her over Kevin.
Yep, and so Cody's going to get his way on this eviction also, not just saving David, but also getting Day out. The girls, because they have given up their numbers, they have no control over this. The guys get together, they decide they want Day to go, and Day's going to go. So
I'm not going to give you that Cody is running the committee because I don't agree. Still, I will say Cody is running the house because he has hands in all these areas. But the committee always lands in Memphis's lap.
okay.
I think what I'm saying is, okay, if Cody left, I think the committee would still stick together. I think if Memphis left, the committee is done. The committee would then, or the people that would stay together are going to be like Cody and Tyler and Enzo. I think that would be a strong alliance. And Danny and Nicole are out. So that's what, whenever I say that he's the head of the committee, like if you were to chop that head off, he's no longer, the committee doesn't exist anymore. I think if Cody were to go out, then the committee still exists. If Memphis were to go out, it all falls apart.
Okay. Well, we're going to agree to disagree until the bitter end, y'all.
Bill says, I guess we were wrong. Cody is running the house. I agree. I do agree. He is running the house, but he's not running the committee. He's not the head of the committee.
Okay. Anyways.
Aiden said Trisha is low-key doing her best Julie impression. My goal is, like Christmas's, is to one day be Julie Chen Moves.
Yeah. So she is like, guess what? Memphis is the mastermind, y'all.
She's not a
and
mastermind.
Trisha and JCM are in this together, pushing that Memphis is the best thing ever. So
This is the only thing me and Christmas have in common.
maybe.
I do want to go and like really quickly acknowledge some of the comments we've been getting during our little fiasco because they're so good.
Yeah.
Let's see.
First of all,
this rap name conversation is cracking me up. Okay, Dragon Monkey. One of my favorite commenters. It's so hilarious. All right, it says if David had a rap name, it would definitely it would be Defo Furniture because he's moving like a couch and a plant all at the same time. Phenomenal level play if this game was called Reverse Big Brother. We stand this. This is the comment of the day right here. Like if we have tweet of the day, comment of the day is right here. That is tweet that a Dragon Monkey and reply to it and tag us so we can retweet it because that's good.
Yeah.
There's another one.
Yeah, we're gonna pop this one up right here, Trisha. Thanks, Aaron.
We need to give some context here that Kylie's husband told us yesterday that we look like straight garbage, and we need to do better about our appearance because we're on a YouTube channel and people don't want to look at ugly girls on YouTube. That's pretty much what he said. I mean, if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah, just breaking it down, that's more or less what he said. So when I saw that comment, I was like, look at that.
In your face.
Thanks, Aaron.
We're going to cut that clip right there and just give it to your husband.
Yes, I'll let him know. Thanks,
Aaron. We appreciate it. Worked hard today. Okay, wait. One more. Dragon Monkey says, if Tyler had a rap name, it would be Second Place.
Ooh.
Bada bing.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Like I'm Frank Sinatra. Okay, Dragon Monkey says, Christmas rap name is Holiday because that's what it would feel like for anyone in a final two with her.
I mean, Dragon Monkey just slaying them over here.
I think Dragon Monkey is actually Zingbot.
Yeah, he's zinging them. So let's talk about their Santa Hantz because he's waiting until he gets to grow Christmas. my gosh, y'all are so funny. Okay, let's talk about their zings a little bit. So, the only one that we know, like all of it, is Tyler's. So, Trisha, give us
Yeah, so
Tyler's zing.
Tyler's is something like obviously we don't see this. We just get to hear the
Hey,
house guests talk
hold
about
on.
it.
First of all, I want you to do the full robot voice, okay? And go.
Okay. I wish I had like a voice thing. I did this earlier, right? And I was like, "Ner,
Yeah.
ner, ner, ner." Okay. So Tyler's is what do you call a house guest who says that they prefer to find the love of their life over the $500,000? And then Zingbot goes,
A
no,
loser.
a liar.
Oh, a
And that's to
liar.
Tyler, obviously.
Zing. Yeah, so we get that for Tyler. Zingbot goes after Nicole about her crying and her annoying voice. And I think it even says something about like America not liking her. So he's
Ooh.
spitting some truth there.
But here's the real question. Will CBS show her zing?
No, they're gonna be like, this was offensive as hell. Whoever said this, you're fired. You are not welcome back as Zingbot again because we do not
Mm-mm.
slander Nicole's name like this.
No, we're cutting that out.
We're not for this.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so let's see what else. Christmas gets called like cold-hearted and mean or something. I think they called Danny old. They make fun of Enzo for being a 40-year-old man that goes by meow meow. Um, I can't remember what everybody else's are, but it'll be fun to see. But oh gosh, Trisha's yellow. So
Oh,
here we
I can
go,
still hear
y'all.
y'all. I don't know why it goes yellow. Like
Yeah,
I can still
so
hear y'all.
anyways, we get a zing from Enzo in the house, and we'll show y'all this clip because it's really funny. Whenever this Zingbot gets fired for making fun of Nicole, then maybe they can hire Enzo and let him do it for a season because he's bringing it.
See them maybe something to Nicole, like, you have hooked up with just as much people as Danny has nominated
Oh
being in
my
the BB house.
god, Enzo!
Zing!
This is the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
So let's see if Nicole decides to target Enzo for making basically the same comment that Bailey did. Or is it different coming from a guy as opposed to coming from a girl? What do you think?
Okay. In my eyes, it's not like say what you say. Bailey had to apologize to her over it. Like,
Right.
so for me, I'm like, Enzo pretty much said the same thing. I doubt she makes Enzo apologize. Just knowing how Nicole is, her track record.
Right. So, yeah,
And the
that's
comments are
Zingbot.
go wild over Nicole. And we had a comment earlier that said Nick Crocodile.
Yeah, it was just right there. Laugh out loud, Nick Crocodile.
No,
Dragon
it was
Monkey just
earlier. It was
Dragon
early.
Monkey's got
Oh
it
yeah.
here too.
Yeah.
Nick Crocodile. I can get behind this one. For all those crocodile tears she shed this past week over Ian.
Dawn says it's different coming from someone she likes. Facts.
Exactly. And it's different coming from a man than coming from a woman. Um,
African
just
American says that she was destroyed by her zing and she wouldn't leave her bed. That's pretty much like anytime anything happens, she
Yeah.
cannot leave her bed.
Yeah. She's also been just distraught over Ian, even though we know that was all acting. And if you didn't get to catch all of that, y'all, go down a few videos in the feed and you can see Nicole's whole acting bit. So,
Yep. It's
she's,
also I shared it on our Instagram the other day.
yeah,
I need
and
to
I
just
shared
post
it
it
on
on our.
Twitter.
I just need to post. Yeah, go follow us on Twitter so you can see it there too.
Yep. All right.
Nicole's
Moving
rap name
on.
would be Cry Baby. I don't know why I
Because she
read it like
cries
that.
with her with her two eyes, and she baa like a sheep. All that voice buzzes like a bee. She's also called a colossal crybaby. Oh my gosh.
This is so. Let me reread it. her rap name would be Cry Baby.
Baby.
We should have
Oh
drank
my
before this
gosh.
episode.
Yeah, for sure. That would have been really funny.
African American. Okay, first of all, we need to give a shout out to African American because this person, I don't know if it's a he or she, so I don't want to give a gender assignment, but always comments on our YouTube videos, and we are so thankful because we love the takes that African American provides. So if you haven't seen the comments from them in the past, I just want to give you a shout out because we love your comments. As much as
Yeah.
like they may differ from what we say or what we comment, we
There's
love them.
literally nothing more that I love in this world than arguing.
Literally,
And
like
so,
Kylie,
like,
the
also
arguer.
also speaking of my husband, we're both famous for posting on Facebook about our debates that we get into. And I mean, y'all, we don't argue about real serious life things, but we argue about the pronunciation of words all the time, and we have to create Facebook polls to get things settled. And I just can't help it. It's like my father likes to argue, my sister likes to argue. It's just something in my DNA. So I like it when people have different opinions for me because I like to argue my point. So
But I also, well, for me, and I think Kylie too, we like to hear other people's perspectives because we're not always right, as hard as that is for us to say. Kylie thinks she's always
take it
right, but
back.
she's not. Um, anyways,
Take it
so
back.
African American, just want to give you a shout out because you really do comment on our videos, and we love to hear your thoughts. And it's perfectly okay to think differently than us. But here you say, let's be honest. If her voice wasn't annoying, y'all would find something else to hate on. I feel like we've hardly hated on her voice at all. Mostly her
Yeah.
crying and
Yeah,
mostly
no.
her gameplay.
Not owning her gameplay.
Yes,
That's the
exactly.
biggest thing. And the
Yeah.
crying.
Yeah, the cry. So, anyways, we're not hating on her voice. Maybe I don't know if you're talking to someone in the comments, but I just want to clarify to the people watching that we hardly hate on her voice.
Yeah.
I when I watch our videos back, I think my own voice is very annoying. I feel like
Yeah.
probably most people
Same.
think their own voice is annoying.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I have room to talk when it comes
Yeah.
to a
I
voice.
mean, yeah, us country hicks down here in Texas, but yeah, so
Our little
I don't
country
think
bumpkins over here.
got pooped out by an armadillo.
Because we're animals. Okay, from animal. Anyways. All
Okay,
right.
yeah. So
Let's
we
move on.
digress. We
We
digress.
really should have drank some stuff before this episode. All right. Um, any more zings, Kylie?
Um, I don't remember them. So, anyways, we'll get to see all of them on Wednesday night's episode. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So African American says, thanks, ladies. I just meant everyone in general. Yeah. I mean, I agree. A lot of people do comment on her voice. Evil Dick finds like all it's just like
yeah,
people do comment on it all the time, and
yeah. But she gives us a lot of material to work with.
she does. And I don't believe in commenting on things that people can't change, like their looks or, I don't like to do that. Um, but her gameplay, she could definitely change.
Own.
Yeah, just
Own
own
it.
it. Own it. That's all we want, girl. Just own it. All right. Okay. Let's move on. This season is so 2020.
Yeah, I think we already talked about this, but yeah, guys, basically they screwed. So, you know, we here like Davon on a personal level because she's very interesting and very funny. She
She's
brings
the
a lot.
underdog.
She's the underdog. You know, I feel like we've gotten to see Davon grow so much over her 3 seasons of Big Brother, and then also getting to see her on the challenge. And so, just on a personal level, I just really, really root for Davon. And so, it's tough. It's tough seeing that the target is pretty much on her, and I don't think that there's anything she can do to get it off. Like, once they have you in their sights, they're pulling the trigger. So if you're a Davon fan like we are,
We're
this might be a
sorry to
rough
break
week.
we're sorry to break this news to you, but she's probably going home this week unless
Yeah.
there's some sort of magical thing that can happen with her and Tyler where Tyler uses the veto on her.
Yeah, that would be amazing, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Like somehow if she could I don't know if she knows that Danny originally was targeting Tyler, and that's why, and he, if she could just drive that wedge a little bit, maybe.
Yeah,
But there's
she would need to find someone to throw under the bus to Tyler, and that would most likely have to be Danny.
yeah,
And
so like maybe if like she were to have a meeting with Tyler and Memphis and say, look, like there's no reason to get me out. I don't
I don't
have
have anybody.
anybody.
Yeah.
But Danny is literally in y'all's alliance, and she was targeting Tyler last week. Like, I will help y'all moving forward. Like just I don't know. Hail Mary. She's got to do
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, and I
We
think
know she'll pull out all the stops.
yeah, she will. She is going to fight tooth and nail till the bitter end and do everything she can to stay in the house. So
It's just so depressing to even think about.
it's so depressing. I mean, the only people that will be slightly entertaining left in the house are Enzo, who is really entertaining always, and Kevin, who is sometimes entertaining and sometimes really annoying. So,
He's only annoying when he's like just
whining.
crying all the time. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
why does he
Okay.
whine all the time?
Which did you ever go back? Did you watch the Veto episode?
I did.
Okay. Can you move your eyeballs like he did?
No,
Can you
that
make
man.
your eyeballs bounce, because that is the
He's like,
most impressive thing I've ever seen from a human being. Because I had to watch
he's
that
like a
episode back
cartoon
today.
character.
He really is. And so, wow, I didn't even know that you could make eyeballs do that.
But he's like,
And I definitely tried it for a while, but
my
I
eyes
can't
don't
do
even
it.
get that big.
Right.
Yeah. Most impressive eyeballs goes to Kevin.
Yes, you win the
We can
eyeball
assume
award.
his zing was probably something along the lines of him being an Eeyore.
Or a pawn.
Yeah.
I don't know what his is. Anyways.
Let's
So.
just try to guess all their zings. Like, what would their zing be if,
Well,
like,
I think the only ones we don't know are
Cody's?
Cody's was about being dumb.
Okay.
I don't think we know Days and Kevin's.
Days would be hard. Okay, like,
Yeah,
it's hard
I
for
mean,
us to
he's
find flaws
perfect.
in her. Like,
He's
we
perfect.
love you, new girl.
What is he gonna zing her over?
God, what could he zing her? Maybe, like, the fact, like, she never wins competitions.
Yeah,
Something like that, probably.
yeah, for sure. But Kevin has a lot to work with, so I'm sure whatever the zing was, it was funny.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, that's the only people, like,
I'm looking back at.
we're dwindling down on the cast.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Oh,
find-
David's, did we talk about
Oh,
David's? 'Cause Aiden says David didn't get his in because he's that perfect.
they probably forgot he was there.
Zing!
Zing! Kevin's was about him being boring.
Kevin's or David's?
Kevin's.
Okay.
Because I don't think Kevin's really boring.
Kevin's not boring to me at all.
He's super interesting. He's just very, I don't know.
Yeah. And I feel like Kevin's conversations, even in the house, like he's interesting to watch on the feeds when we get him. He normally isn't having strategic conversations, which
Yeah.
is like breaks up the monotony sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'll just find myself watching his conversations. Like the other day, he was having a conversation with Davon about they were talking about like the stereotypes on gay people and anyways, he was like, so in the community, he was talking about how there can be this like expectation that gay men should all be like beautiful and like flamboyant, I guess, and like he's not, and he can be flamboyant, but he doesn't feel like he's like beautiful. And so, anyways, he was talking about Jose and how like he was like Jose is like the poster child for what people think like gay men should be like. But he was like he's so beautiful. And then he was asking Day like how he was in real life and da da da. And anyways, so Davon's like, can you say that like you're married, like you're talking about this beautiful man da da da. And he's like, oh, me and my partner, like he's having all these. It was just a super interesting conversation because he's been married to this guy for like what 22 years,
Yeah.
and he was just talking about how they're open about how beautiful they think other people are and how hot guys can be. And I mean, he was like, that's the secret to our marriage. So, anyways, it was just it. He has interesting conversations and he's fun to watch on the feeds. I wouldn't say he's boring at all. He's one of
No,
my
I don't,
favorite
yeah.
people to watch.
Yeah, I don't think he's boring. So we disagree.
Yeah, Zach said, excuse me, Jose. Jose, what was he saying?
The Messiah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, y'all, if you didn't watch Jose on the challenge, he is even more entertaining than you could imagine. This man went on the challenge, and his first appearance, he was on Champs versus Stars, and he was a star from his one season of Big Brother where he was on for like 2 weeks.
Well, he's like a YouTuber. Like
Well,
he like does
yeah.
makeup. Anyways,
Yeah,
so
and
he's a star.
and he's like a musical artist now too. Anyways, but this man goes on to the challenge and he jumps into a swimming pool and he cannot swim. And
Cannot swim.
he seriously almost died, guys. Like panic mode.
Oh, it says
Grabbing
almost
on.
drowned. Yes, straight up.
Yes, really did almost drown. So
Yes, Dragon
but
Monkey.
he tried.
He was on the challenge, and he did try. He was not trying to go out like that. But anyway, yeah, he was so entertaining.
Yep, he's a mess.
He was a mess in the Big Brother house too. Tic-Tac fouls. What? We love Jose.
Jose's not garbage.
He's
Jose.
TV gold.
Look, yeah, we're not necessarily here for the best players because sometimes you got to have some entertainment too.
Because if this house was full of Cody and Tylers, it'd be boring.
Yes, you got to have the personalities. So people like Jose, Davon, Johnny Mac, Kat, like those are our people.
Yes. Like we don't care. We really, me and Kylie don't even care about the people who win.
We just want to be entertained.
We just want to be entertained. Well, that's why we also love Janelle. Like such an entertaining player, and but she's also great at strategy. She's like
Janelle's kind of the full package.
Full package.
Yeah.
I don't know. I did that. Anyways. Okay. Yeah. Cody and Tyler are super bland.
Really
we have a lot coming up. So, let's get to the tweet of the day because we have a lot coming up this upcoming week to talk to you about of things that are happening. So let's get into our tweet of the day.
Which does come from our girl Janelle. This isn't an entertaining tweet, but it is something important to show. So on the feeds, Janelle talked a lot about the charity Give Kids the World, and we saw her auction off her Janelle nameplate necklace, and she raised like $18,000. So, anyways, now she has gotten Kaser to do his FBI hat, and it says, a piece of BB history, Kaser's FBI hat, 100% of proceeds go to at GKTW Village for Give Kids the World. And if anyone's got a little bit of spare change hanging around, the bid for Kaser's FBI hat is up to $3,261. So if you are independently wealthy and you've got the money, it goes to a great organization, y'all. So get you Kaser's FBI hat. And we are also accepting donations, and we can make it the RealiTEA community hat, and we can share it. So
yeah,
we've got $10 pulled together between me and Trisha. If y'all got the other $3,200.
Well, okay, we'll do the 61. Everyone, y'all can send it to our Venmo. I don't know how to make y'all donate, but in all seriousness, if you're wanting to donate, we will gladly put in money for everyone. But yeah, great cause, and you get BB merch. So
yeah,
way to go, Janelle.
And
for everyone that calls you evil, y'all are idiots. Bye. Okay, let me stop sharing here because we have some more fun things to tell y'all. So, but let's first of all, before we get to some exciting news, let's talk about what's happening today. So, an episode's coming on right after we
20 minutes
right after we finish airing for the East and Central times. What's happening on the episode?
So we will see the play out of the HOH competition, and we will see his nominations. And that's what we can expect on the episode today. So pretty straightforward, not anything interesting.
Just the DRs.
Just the DRs. See what's really happening in the
Going
Big
on
Brother
in their
house.
heads. Yeah. All right. So not a lot happening today, but we will be back tomorrow.
At our regular time. Oh, Tic-Tac Foul says it's delayed due to football. Good point. So if you got your DVR set, you may want to extend it out a little bit because it's going to be behind a little bit. I don't know how far because I haven't watched any TV today. So I don't know.
Struggle
Don't
of
know.
keeping up with feeds.
Yep.
All right. So we have some exciting news as promised that we have a special guest coming on tomorrow. And
this is another one, y'all, which I think this person had good strategy, but also crazy entertaining. So this is the type of player that we live for, and we're very excited to have our guest on tomorrow.
yeah, so we will be having Christie Murphy on tomorrow. We are so excited to have her on our 12 o'clock show tomorrow to talk about everything going on in the house, to get her take. She was super entertaining in the house. If you don't remember Christie from BB21, she was one of the only good things to come out of that season. Her and Pat and Tommy are probably the only, and Cliff and Nicole Anthony.
There's like 5 good things.
Yeah. I mean, Ovi, David, yeah. But there's like also like 5 bad apples that we won't talk about. So, anyways, but we have Christie coming on tomorrow, and we're so excited to have her on to hear her take on everything going on in the Big Brother house. We know that she will not hold back on her thoughts. She doesn't hold back on her social media. She didn't hold back when she was in the house. So, we're really looking forward to having Christie Murphy on with us tomorrow. So, if you have questions for Christie, be sure to drop them in the comments and we'll put them all together, and be sure to ask them tomorrow, or feel free to join us live tomorrow and with Christie. So you can comment as we go through the episode.
Yes, you can look at me and see him, Christie.
Good job, Aiden.
Yep, so that is what we will be doing tomorrow. We will be hanging with our friend Christie, and we're really excited. So
also, we had last week, we talked about the challenge cast and gave you guys some spoilers there of who is going to be on this season based on the leak cast. So if you are interested in the challenge, we will be doing our draft live next Friday, October 2nd. So be sure to subscribe to this channel so that you will get all of the updates every time we go live, along with Russell. You'll get notifications on your phone every time we go live. I just got one on my phone when we went live. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Anything else, Kylie? Did we miss anything today?
no, I think that's it.
All right. So, guys, thanks for joining us live. For everyone who did, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit us with a thumbs up, and drop us a comment on your thoughts. African American, pointing at you. Drop us a comment with your thoughts on everything that you have from today's episode, along with everything going on in the feeds. And we'll be back tomorrow at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time with Christie Murphy. Looking forward to it. Can't wait to have her and hear her take on everything going on in the Big Brother house. And that's it for today, guys. Don't forget to check out the episode tonight. Bye, y'all. Cheers.
Cheers.